Today to tell you about a fantasy film Antler Boy, a strange virus in the world, the infected will die in pain, the virus has a strong contagious. The children born will also become some monsters, because of the virus. Because of the arrival of the virus, the world began to fall into chaos. Many places have received the impact of the virus. The children born will also become monsters. The main character David as a child followed his father to live in the forest, but his father died because of the protection of David. David met Alan inside the forest, and with Alan's encouragement, David wanted to find his mother, but David could not leave the forest alone, so he left with Alan. They met Jessie on the road. She is responsible for protecting the chief of the hybrid. They arrested Alan, because Alan belongs to the evil organization personnel. Jessie, because of trying to help Alan, was imprisoned by his teammates. The boss of the evil organization is a general. He has two talents. One is a Dr. Nick, responsible for researching the antidote to the virus. His wife also infected with the virus. He studied many methods have failed. New research needs to do experiments on hybrid people. The doctor is very opposed to such experiments, but in order to protect his wife, he can only try to experiment. Neighbors also accidentally found his wife sick, want to tear down her lies, but in the doorway by a horse to knock down. The other is Amy. She is an ordinary person, but she rescued many patients after the disaster, but also to adopt a girl. Alan and David received Jessie's help, successfully left, but Jessie, because to help Alan, was expelled by the team. Jessie decided to join David's team, and finally the three of them together to find David's mother. They set off in the direction of the city, all the time according to incomplete clues. They also want to look for the train, but they encounter difficulties on the way. There is a large purple flower, which is said to be associated with the virus, and they dare not continue. They decided to walk from the bridge, just when they intend to move forward. David but accidentally fell into the flowers inside, but also hallucinated to see his father. Alan and Jessie risked to take David away. The general's other doctor, because of the virus infection, does not want to continue research, but in fact she is pretending. The general came to her home, trying to find the virus information. The doctor said the information in Nick's hands. The general left in anger. Nick received a package, did not expect that inside is an empty box. Nick is very confused. They will be the neighbor's body stored in the cold storage, but was found by others. They came to find Nick, want to burn Nick and his wife together, because Nick's wife infected with the virus. This time the general arrived in time. The general found the information, wanted to leave, but Nick lied that has found the antidote. The general only then released Nick. David and Alan, they managed to board the train. They were about to reach the city. They looked out the window. At this time, a man walked in. David they hid, but still found by the man. Alan was ready to start a duel, but found that the man was his friend. He and Alan chatted, and Alan learned that the train was headed for the city, with many supplies on board, all delivered to the general, and many of the general's men on board. The three men hid in fear, and eventually, with the help of their friend, David and the men managed to leave the train. They continued to walk to the city. The closer to the city, the happier David. But Amy encountered a problem. Her adoption was found by the general's men. Amy led everyone in the sewers to leave, himself against the general. The general soon surrounded Amy, wanted Amy to hand over the hybrid. This time the general intends to rush into the room, but Amy with a bomb successfully repelled the general's men. But everyone in the church received the general's ambush. The hybrid people were all caught. Why the virus will suddenly appear Why the virus will suddenly appear. The original is a scientist in the survey. The original is a scientist in the survey, accidentally found the mysterious virus. He sent the virus to the laboratory research. David's mother is a researcher here. The father is also a staff member here, but the father's job is responsible for the intention to clean. They accidentally met, and finally met inside the bar. The mother's work is confidential, but the father has guessed that the mother in the study of the virus. It turns out that they study the virus is intended to help the development of mankind, but the virus also possesses harmful. Mother's laboratory is managed by the army. She knows the news, is very nervous. Father is very suspicious. In the twinkling of an eye, David and they came to a house in front of which lived the mother's colleagues. They chatted together. Jessie and Alan learned that the virus is because the laboratory leaked out. In the end, what happened? David's mother and father came to laboratory. The mother showed the father the results of the research, actually a child. He is a hybrid, that is, David. It turns out that David was not born by the mother's pregnancy. Just as the research is about to be completed, the general led the ministry to take over the laboratory. In order to protect David, the father decided to take David away. David knows his own life, it turns out that David is an experiment. He could not accept the truth. Desperately running outside, David Will is the antidote to the virus? We go down to understand what kind of person Alan is. It turns out that his wife was pregnant during the virus outbreak. He took his wife to the hospital, the child was born, but because of the infection virus, the child became a monster. Alan could not accept the truth, sadly left the hospital, and finally met Nick. Persuaded, Alan came back to the hospital to look for his wife, but found that his wife and children have disappeared. Alan looked for his wife for many years. There has been no news of his wife. Alan found David. They want to leave here, but the general's people found David. Alan was attacked, captured David. David was sent to Nick's laboratory, became an experiment. Nick saw David was heartbroken. He could not bear to kill David, but this is the general's territory. Nick had no way to release David. Nick's first test subject was a lizard hybrid. Inside the cage, David saw many hybrids. Jesse repaired the satellite phone, found David's mother. Jesse's sister was also captured because of the infection virus. The injured Alan was brought home by Jesse to heal. The story to this is the end of the story. The answer will be revealed in the next season. We will see you next time.